Aloha once again, my friends. This might be one of our last videos together. Seems like December 10th. The mind control, thought control police might be out in full force, attempting to hinder consciousness from spreading like the wildfire that it is. If all the conscious channels are taken down, and or let us say truth channels, people that know exactly what time it is, we'll be back. In other words, don't let it affect you terribly. Don't become too caught up in it. Again, it's part of the illusion. The external realm is an illusion. So don't let the illusion have too much effect on you. But yes, I will miss you, and I'm sure everybody is going to miss everybody, if such a thing happens. I personally don't feel that it is, because I think we've got too much on our side. We've got too much good energy. We've got too much power. And the old guard is crumbling by the minute. But who knows how it plays out in the external realm exactly. It's literally just have to experience it to know. So no matter what, we're all in it together, and we are going to make it to our destination. But today I would talk about one of our favorite subjects, consciousness. And what I'm about to tell you, I've never heard anybody say, I've never read. This just came to me. And in some ways, perhaps it's wrong, whatever that means. But that doesn't matter, because every bit of understanding we add to our understanding just yields more understanding. But today I wanted to just talk, I just wanted to share with you what my thought was that came to me concerning consciousness and the densities of consciousness. And I'm just going to cover 7. I'm pretty sure there's probably more than that, but 7's plenty, because most people are still at level 1 or level 3 consciousness, which is 3rd density. And so what I've done is just applied the density to the physiology in a way that might give us clarity on trying to understand levels of consciousness itself. So 3rd density consciousness has to do with your left brain. 3rd density consciousness is primarily left brain consciousness. When you move into fourth density consciousness, you move into the right brain. Right brain consciousness. Things that are associated with, and you can look on your own and look into, what kind of human tendencies go with left brain thinking, what kind of tendencies go with right brain thinking. But then we move into fifth density consciousness, which is whole brain consciousness. So this is where you have moved from the duality of right and left brain consciousness, and you're now coming back to your center. You're now coming back to your balance. From fifth density consciousness, we move into sixth density consciousness, and sixth density consciousness is where your heart and your brain sync up. And primarily, your mind becomes your heart mind. And I've got plenty of videos about the heart, and I'm sure you've learned a lot about your own heart just through the course of your awakening. From sixth density consciousness, we move into seventh density consciousness. And seventh density consciousness, basically, to me, is when your higher self is pretty much fully integrated into your present moment self. So in our case, it would be here on earth, in the physical human form, fully back in remembrance, sovereignty, power, and to third density conscious beings, and maybe even fourth, these types of people would be looked at as divine. And so that would be, somebody like a Buddha or a Jesus. Someone, let us say, that is fully back online. So that was my thought that came to me recently in trying to better formulate an understanding on how the levels of consciousness pertain to the physiology of humans, and trying to get a mental picture of that. And so hopefully that helps. It really helped me. It just, like I said in another video, I'm really mental, and mental pictures just help me understand better, clearer. So let us marinate on that. Take a smoke break. It's just this is totally laid back, chilled. This might be our last video. So hey, on our last video, what did we do? Well, we talked about consciousness a little bit. We sipped coffee. Had smoke breaks. And just kind of hung out together and listened to some jams, and just, the world is so stressed right now. Everybody is just a lot of people are just freaking out, looking across the world. But remember, this is all energy. And so everything you're seeing, all the stuff that we're seeing, is energy manifesting. And the world has been tied down, bogged down, chained down, manipulated down, dumbed down, stooped down so long that the energy is just bursting at the seams now to throw off the chains and the shackles. And a lot of the stuff you see out there, a lot of it is NPCs. Just, almost robotically doing an energetic dance is one way we could think of it. It doesn't look like that on your screens with a talking head telling you about the latest clash, but we could think of it as an energetic dance of energies and humanity throwing off their chains. Which is a good thing, of course. It's a good thing. The end result is the good thing. Glad I got to know all of you, at least to some degree. Meet all of you. It's been such a wonderful, wonderful release for all of us to come to realize that we weren't alone, that there were so many other people that felt where you were coming from and were struggling with the same things that you were. We're just as confused, perhaps, as you were about all the contradictions that seem to just, like the world is nothing but contradiction at this point. Like everything is convoluted, everything is distorted, everything is a contradiction, everything is ridiculous. And just the mere simple fact that the lowest bottom feeders on or in this realm somehow got the reins of power and were able to slave drive and deceive the entire realm and all the people in that realm because they were crafty enough to take control of all these different belief systems that we're all subject to. The same old ones. Religion, politics, science, education, health, mental and physical. Okay, if you've given your power to all those structures right there and have said in your own heart, I will believe them. I will allow them to tell me who I am. Then they're going to tell you who you are. It's a total lie. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of guilt. It's a bunch of shame. It's a bunch of you're fucked up and we've got your answers. And if all that was too intense and too deep and too real and too hardcore, well, then you had the flip side of, hey, just be entertained. And we've got that on lock too. So we make your movies, we make your shows, we make your sitcoms, we make your music for the most part. Now, it's not total control. They don't have 100% control. But if they've got 85, then that's enough. That's way too much. It should be 0 for you as a conscious, awakened soul. Nothing external should be controlling us. So we should be at 0%. And, we wait. We wait for the others to come along. And when they get tired of it, when they get sick of it, when they realize it's the same old dupes over and over and over, no matter what it is, you consented to it every time. And you just, you get tired of being the mistake maker. And you just want to know how to make the quote unquote right decision. It's always the what should I do? What should I do? There are infinite possibilities, all of them valid. And you are the decider. I have decided to go 100% awakened. Because when you realize this thing of awakening is not just one moment where you awakened, even though you had your moment, that moment. But it wasn't over right there. That moment continues on. And so then you realize, oh, so there's more awakening I probably need to do. So that means I'm going to have to really pay attention and spend time within myself to rewire and rework the interior so that in the exterior it just flows naturally. It just comes naturally. It's not an effort. It's not a control thing. And the closer we get to this core knowing, the more you will realize this is always who you were. So this is going to be so easy for you to do. See, that's the trick at first. This seems like such an overwhelming reality to face. But it's actually simple. It ends up being the opposite later on down the road, because you're coming back to who you actually are. So you're not having to rebuild a new you from your core. You were always you at your core. You were always all of the things that you forgot about yourself when you descended all the way down to third density consciousness and went about as though everything, including yourself, was the external realm primarily. And so you thought of that all as real, and the unseen, hidden things perhaps as, well, maybe those aren't real, maybe those are just superstition, which a lot of them are. I mean, everything got distorted for sure, and people got lost quickly. But you are home. And if we're not fully home yet, if we're not 100% home yet, know that you will be, because you're on the path to home and you're not getting off of it. You will not be duped again. You will not stay under the spell of the Matrix. Deep down, we are whole. And it's pure love. Pure love. Of yourself, of everybody else, of the earth, of the beauty of the entire thing. Pure love, pure gratitude, pure wonder. I thank you, my friends, my real peoples, for being willing to listen to this. And be in this moment.